only on SportsGrid.
Game time decisions live on a Tuesday night on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh, Gabriel Morency, and the hits just keep on coming, man. You know, people during the NBA regular season get real up in arms, this league, this product, da-da-da-da-da. Well, the postseason is not only delivering great basketball games, you're getting real upsets. You are getting big-time dogs to come in, and it happens again with this Minnesota Timberwolves team. 104-102, they knocked the Spurs off, low scoring. A lot of guys had 10 or more. Julius Randle was the only player, I think, that got over 20 in the basketball game. And all of the sudden, this collision course we were expecting, or many were expecting, with the Spurs and the Thunder who are in action tonight, Gabe, thrown off a little bit because also Anthony Edwards is back.
Yeah, the NBA playoffs. The NBA gets heavily criticized, and they bring a lot of it upon themselves, obviously. But I see a lot of, the NHL postseason so much better than the NBA postseason is. And no one's going to dispute the Stanley Cup playoffs are super cool, but you're not paying attention if you think that the NBA postseason hasn't been lit this year. Yeah, there's been a couple of blowouts, but there's nothing wrong in watching a team get into a groove and put it together like the Knicks have over the last week or so. But there's been numerous upsets, numerous close games coming down to the final possession. And we've got ourselves a series right now. Listen, the San Antonio Spurs haven't been in this position before. They hadn't been in the playoffs before. Now, it's not like everybody on the team hasn't been in the playoffs before, but as a unit, as a coaching staff per se, they haven't been here before, Kevin, and they kind of had it easy. They were able to sort of outskill the Portland Trailblazers. But I've been telling people this for years, man, about the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've got a really good coach. Chris Finch can coach. Like, as we see, like, who do I have? Who are the 8 guys I have tonight? All right, give me a couple hours. I'll be back with a game plan. Like, this is the type of guy that he is. Like, right after games, he's the type of guy that goes right back to the hotel, starts watching film right away. Like, he's very proactive. He's a great coach. They got ballers on their team. They got competitors, and they got postseason experience. But I'm not ready to write off the Spurs yet. I think, Kevin, they just sort of learned. It's like a fight.
Yep.
A lot of fighters, championship fights are like, yeah, there's sort of levels to it, right? The T-Wolves are just quicker to the loose balls last night. They were more aggressive with the rebounds. They played harder than the San Antonio Spurs did. I think the Spurs will figure it out in game 2 and realize, all right, we're not playing the Blazers. Second round is more intense than the first round. We can't play around. I can't wait to see how this series plays out.
Yeah. And here's the thing with Minnesota, right? It's not like, sometimes game in the NCAA tournament where you get like the scrappy 12 seed, like they don't even know they're not supposed to win. No, Minnesota, Rudy Gobert is a Hall of Famer, okay? Julius Randle's been an all-star. Anthony Edwards is Anthony Edwards. They've been to
multiple max players, Kevin.
Yeah,
I told you
two
this
straight
last
Western
week.
Conference Finals. The Thunder haven't been to 2 straight Western Conference Finals. The Wolves have. Like, they have been in this position so many times. It's so different for the Spurs, the spot they find themselves in against Minnesota.
Well, they're loaded. That's the whole thing, right? Rudy Gobert is, next to Wembanyama, the best defensive player in the NBA, right? Just point blank, you can't dispute it. So you have the best defensive player in the league. And what's good about Gobert is his ego doesn't get crushed if he doesn't play in certain situations.
Great take.
Right? Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, listen, in the last series, you were, we needed you, and you did this and that, but you're not matching up here, exactly in the same way we want late in the game here. And he sort of rolls with it, and that's a Finch thing. Yeah, you know what I mean? You see it, Kevin,
because
though, right? You see it.
Because just to your point quickly, the Gobert got benched, not because he did anything wrong. They just needed to get Wemby away from the basket. And I think sometimes that would have a negative impact, but Rudy is so confident right now, especially in himself.
They went small.
And it worked perfectly. It opened things up for their offense, Gabe. They scored 59 points in that second half compared to just 45 in the first.
Yeah, that's just Finch. I'm telling you, the guy can really coach. He understands his players, what he can get from them. I like what Edwards brought up, and he said, hey, listen, Connolly's an all-star. This guy was like one of the best players in the league. Don't forget that. And then you get into Edwards, and it really wasn't Edwards. To be honest with you, who deserves a ton of credit last night is Mr. Skechers himself, is Randall, right? And I brought it up last week when everyone was missing. I said, they still have Gobert. Randall does make a max contract. You know what I mean? Like, there's levels to it, I guess, I get, but it's like, dude, you're still making $50 million a year, $48 million, whatever the hell it is. You're supposed to be really good as well. But last night, man, the Spurs cut the lead to 2, 3, 4, whatever it was, 2. It was like a minute and a half left. They sort of flicked the switch and came back. They were coming back, and Randall hit that shot off the glass.
Yep.
Right? That was the dagger. It went from 102 to 98 to 104. It was 4-6 type of deal. That's what it was. And San Antonio got in a couple of stops before that. That was just a massive shot because Edwards really wasn't going off late in the game last night. It was the role players, right? It was the rebounds, but they were just a step ahead. I also like what I saw from the Spurs, though, Kevin, in the last couple of minutes. You saw Wembanyama after sort of clap after the game with his guys on the side and said, all right, it's almost like a fight. All right, we lost the first round. You know what I mean? It's like, seriously, it's like a 12-round boxing match. All right, the other fighter, they tagged us a couple of times. We're okay. We came back late in the first, but now we realize this is a real fight, and he's a real contender. Let's go. I think it was a wake-up call.
Yeah, the one thing, though, from San Antonio, if you're Mitch Johnson, you have to tell Steph Castle, I like the aggressiveness. Enough of you fouling out. That's two straight playoff games. You're a guard. You're a point guard. You cannot be fouling out of basketball games,
I don't want to see Wembanyama taking 8 3-point shots, man. I've complained about this in the past. But when he gets
going, it's a dagger, right? His threes, Gabe, are loud because it's like, oh my gosh, he hit a 3, right? I hear you. But Gabe, they needed someone on San Antonio at moments to settle them down. And I got De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox's max contract starts with this team next year. He's the 3rd best point guard on that basketball team. Harper and Castle are better than him. He has to step up. He cannot be 5 of 14, 0 of 4 from 3. That's unacceptable.
Look, he's got to score. He's got to score for them. There's no disputing that.
Yeah.
And he did late. He's the one, let's not forget, Kevin, he's the one that scored them back into the game in the last couple of minutes. But I will just state, De'Aaron Fox, although it was a sweat job, did go over the 5.5 assists. All right?
Sure did.
I don't want any smack talk or bad talk. But a dude put money in our pockets, all right?
No, listen, I like when you get listen, that guy played great as far as I'm concerned. Hit my numbers.
But it was he had a quick 3, Kevin, in the first quarter. I was like, oh, this is the easiest bet ever. I'm like, God. And it was that classic NBA prop bet, stuck at 4 all game. It was just he was shooting more than passing. He was missing. Then they took him out of the game. He wasn't playing. And it was really, to be honest, Kevin, I got saved. You just called it. Castle got into foul trouble. That's how Fox got back on the court in the last couple of minutes of the game.
It's crazy.
Because you're right. And they go to Harper in those spots now. Even though he's a kid, Harper's fearless. He just takes it to the rack.
He's so talented, 100%, Gabe. And by the way, if we're shouting out guys, Terrence Shannon Jr., thank you, brother. Because I'll tell you the one thing, Gabe, about betting.
You know what? I think people listen to it. It went up to 10.5. It closed at 10.5.
Gabe, when they announced him in the starting lineup, everybody other than people that tuned into this show are like, what's going on here? Well, it's like, guys, we tried to tell you, this isn't like Ant Edwards is coming back playing 41 minutes, So that was fantastic. But the funny thing, Gabe, betting those low numbers, he scored 2 points in the first quarter, and I went, I'm on pace. He had 4 at halftime. I'm like, right there. We're right there. Nothing to panic about. He really turned it on, which was sensational. Obviously, the Knicks rolled the Sixers. We can get into that a little bit, too. We've got 2 games that, one is supposed to be great, and the other, not so much.
Historical,
we've got NHL postseason as well. Baseball. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Hope we get a historical upset. All right, game time decisions. And I very quickly just had to text someone because Gabe kind of just set a alarm off in my head. We will get to Pistons Cavs, but Lakers Thunder comes with some history and some interesting options here. Gabe, I'll let you set the stage for game number one between the Thunder and the Lakers in the Western Conference semifinals.
Well, I said there's a little bit of history coming into tonight's game, and there really is, as LeBron James has played 1,960 basketball games. Pretty wild. Like as if he's retiring and not getting to 2,000 next year, right? So he's played 1,960 games. I'll just throw that out there. That's a lot of games. Unbelievable. And this is the most incredible LeBron James stat. Like, the guy's obviously just a walking stat machine, but LeBron James has now played against 35% of all NBA players in NBA history.
That's crazy. That's
Think
just
about
ridiculous.
That. 35% of the league. 35% of players that have played in the NBA, LeBron has played against them at least once. That's insane. Like when you
He's
kick
been
back,
around a long time.
When you kick back, like, what do you know about the game? Like, dude, I played against like 35% of the players.
You know what, Gabe? I saw something earlier this year that you would love. The Cavs were wearing like throwback jerseys, and people go,
"Yeah,
that's what LeBron was wearing in like." Yeah, yes,
that was his rookie year. He debuted their throwback jersey. Yeah,
it's like, guys, he's still playing. Like, you gotta wait. You have to wait.
And you know what? And just quickly about this, it's like Aaron Rodgers. Say what you will about him, but it's pretty wild. Aaron Rodgers has been in the NFL for like 21 years. He's only 40 years old. Imagine you've been in the NFL as a player, Kevin, for 51% of your life. It's like what he knows.
That, yeah.
Like he's like a kid, and I remember being a kid a bit, and I remember being in the NFL as his life. And I remember being in a cave in Egypt this past summer. I can tell you, but
maybe I don't know if he remembers. That.
Yeah, like,
maybe
he sort of knows. Yeah, but it's just wild stuff. But yeah, so LeBron guy's never been a 15.5 point underdog before. It's the biggest series dog that he is going back since 2006, and we just saw the Lakers knock off a minus 550 favorite in the Houston Rockets. So They have success, as an underdog here. But let's dig down a little bit deeper here right now. The Oklahoma City Thunder have won 5 straight games against the Los Angeles Lakers. They've scored 119 points or more. The last 4 times they played, they've beaten them by 39 or more points. Like, they murder them every time. Like, it's just sort of like, it's not even. And, dude, like, the one game that was close, Kevin, it was this year, and I remember it off the top of my head. Oklahoma City had nobody. They didn't even have SGA, if you remember.
No.
Like, they didn't have SGA. They had Williams. I don't think they had Holmgren. They might have had Holmgren. We can look it up. I remember the game that night. Remember, they won by 9. They won by 9 that night.
They were missing Shea. They had Williams, but like a minutes limit, and they had Chet. The Lakers had only LeBron and then Reeves off the bench. So it's like,
all right, so it's a throwaway game.
But Gabe, it was a 9-point win on the road with no Shea. You know what I mean? And it's kind of similar to tonight.
For Oklahoma City, too. I think they even played the night before.
I bet the Thunder in that game. No, it was.
I think they played in Phoenix the night before or something.
That's a gambler's brain.
Playing well.
That is a gambler's brain. Only someone who gambles every night. Like, I think it was a back-to-back because I got a good number on OKC. I'm telling you, only a gambler. But people who cover the Thunder wouldn't be able to give you that stat.
No, but that's why I'm telling you, this stuff's ingrained. So I'm like, it's with a caveat. When I won by 9, it was one of those weird games. But, absolutely murdered them. Like, when you look back.
Just disgusting results.
123 to 87, 139 to 96, 121 to 92. 136 to 120 2 years ago or last year. You had a 119, 110 game in here. So even in, like, the best-case scenarios, Oklahoma City seemed to enjoy, like, murdering the Lakers, Kevin.
Yeah, no, they do. There's something to it. They like to hound Reeves. Luka, if you guys remember, so the Thunder, right. This is the Thunder's 3rd straight season, Gabe, as the 1 seed.
This is where Luka got hurt, isn't it?
Yes, that's the Red Wedding game.
It's coming back. Reeves got into it with the fans.
And Reeves got hurt, too, if you remember, in that same game.
And I brought it up. I said, this is crazy because Reeves actually played in Oklahoma. He's from there.
Yes.
Right? Like,
100%.
Like he was getting into it with his own guys that he's popular with. Like, they applaud him and stuff. Yeah, so there is some animosity there, as you stated.
Well, Gabe, the last person to eliminate the Thunder, Luka, the year the Mavericks, went to the NBA Finals. Yeah. So that resonates as well. I think for the Thunder, I think that's why they always get up to play Luka.
No Jalen Williams, and if people are wondering, they're 39-10 without him.
Oh, man.
Just throwing it out there. I mean, like, really?
It is crazy.
I'm like, what about Jalen Williams? No, he's not playing. It's like, but you know what? They're actually 39-10. Not to take anything away from them, right? Because the guy's a really good player. But, by the way, they are 39-10 without Jalen Williams.
They're super used to it. I just want to say this. As someone who was betting the Lakers tonight at plus 15.5, okay?
Risky.
The number is 1 point less than game 1 against Phoenix. I think this Lakers team right now deserves a little bit more respect than that. But I'm telling you guys this. One of these 2 games, the Thunder should win by at least 25 points. And if it's tonight, well, then I'm probably up against it because I probably have to run the Lakers back for game 2. And at that point, we're trying to break even. They might win both. But the dream scenario is we get a Laker cover here, and game 2, we already know the score. And the number in game 2 might be 17.5 because they're going to flip these numbers around. But the only prayer the Lakers have, Gabe, is this spot with the most rest they will have all series. LeBron cannot feel the game out. They have to attack from Jump Street against an OKC team. By the way, Gabe, they haven't played basketball in over a week, Oklahoma City.
It'll be interesting to see if they come out a little cold in the first few minutes of the game. But one thing about the Oklahoma City Thunder, when you get these massive point spreads, and Kevin is right, this is like the Phoenix situation all over again. And I even thought of it, Kevin, when I saw the Laker team total 99.5. Yeah. Like, Oklahoma City are so good. Sportsbooks are basically like, can you crack? We'll give you money if you can score 100 on them. That's like take it on. That's what they're saying. Like, we'll give you money. You think they're going to score 100 points? Take our bet. It's Lakers team totals 99.5.
Craig Mish on deck.
Alienate your fan base. That's the problem. You got to show your fan base that you're still trying to win, and you want to sell tickets in the summertime. You don't want to go into mid-May and say, all right, we're 15 games out, but it's still only early May. No, fans will stay away. So you don't have the luxury anymore of just waiting. So someone's got to get fired. One of these teams is going to fire someone by the end of the month.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I thought the Jets would have pulled the Ty Simpson move. I was desperately worried that was what they were going to do. But instead, they ended up getting it right with Bailey. And so did, by the way, the prediction markets, because we saw all that money come in for Bailey. It's kind of funny because all it is, and then you forget. Who did Arizona go with? I mean, Arizona went with a running back.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We're seeing as sports betting is continuing to rise, that some of the potential issues around it are rising too, and these companies are having to deal with that. You have several lawmakers have introduced bills across states in Congress to potentially curb some of the problematic activity. In some cases, like in Ohio, we talked about last week, to potentially end online sports betting.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
It's a 7-game sprint with a whole lot of volatility, right? You don't want the best team, so to speak, Donnie. You want the team that has a favorable group stage, weaker knockout path, and has some penalty variance coming their way here, because this is all about the path to the final, Donnie. It's not about the best team, because the best team can get knocked out.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Game time decisions on SportsGrid. We're joined by Craig Mish, who you can catch Monday through Friday on the grid, hosting Newswire, of course, Pro Baseball Today on weekends. And Craig, the Tariq Skubal news is the biggest of this early Major League Baseball season. I'll just start by asking, what was your reaction when you heard that Skubal was set to be sidelined with an elbow injury for at least a couple of months?
Yeah, look, it's a lot to unpack. It's not just the injury. It's just how it affects the Tigers and how it affects Skubal's career and how it affects free agency. There's just a lot to unpack with all of it. But I guess primarily you wonder if Detroit can stay in the race without him. My guess is they can. Their team is good enough. And then the bigger question is, what is he when he comes back? He's almost untradeable at this point if the Tigers were to fall out of it, because you really wouldn't know what you're going to get. You may remember Shane Bieber was traded last season, and Toronto actually got lucky, but I don't think that they had a clue as to what he was going to be down the stretch. So, I think there's a lot of layers to it, but my guess is how this plays out is Skubal finishes the season in Detroit. They hope that he can pitch for them in the postseason, and then he enters free agency with some more questions as opposed to having all the answers, because clearly he's not going to win a Cy Young Award this year.
No, he certainly is not. Just the innings won't be anywhere near close going off of the timeline that they've given us. The interesting thing, Craig, and I imagine there are some people who have kind of, made the comment, well, hey, at least he didn't push himself in the World Baseball Classic. One of the things, though, from that situation that, I don't know if bothered is the right word, but if Skubal wasn't going to pitch in the WBC because the contract that was awaiting him, well, pitching this season was always going to be far more dangerous. You think back when they told Jadeveon Clowney, right, at South Carolina, don't play your junior season of college football. You're going to be the first overall pick. He played, he went and won. It happened, but how damaging could this actually be to the Tariq Skubal contract next offseason?
Yeah, the World Baseball Classic thing, I think, is a zero because, Hunter Brown is hurt, Garrett Crochet is hurt. Like, I don't think that factors in at all to this. But yes, to your point, to free agency, I think it has to. And now it's predominantly based on his performance in, let's call it, the last 2 months of the season. If we assume that he's definitely pitching in August and definitely pitching in September, I think that that's fair to assume. his performance in those months may dictate his future. And that will, I think, determine what kind of deal he gets at the end of the year. I still think that he'll break a lot of records for biggest contract ever for a pitcher. But as far as getting like what Juan Soto got, I think that's probably out.
Are we, and this is, do you think it is important that he pitches again the rest of the season, just to say, yes, I can pitch? Interesting.
Yes. And I also think that the Tigers would be well within their right, if they fall out of it, to take whatever, not whatever they could get, Kevin, but to take something reasonable in return to send him somewhere else and take that chance. That you do not want another Ohtani situation like what the Angels did and got absolutely nothing back in return. I would guess the Tigers will keep him because I do believe in their organization and I believe in their manager, and I do think they have a good enough team to hang in there in that division. But they would have to ask themselves the question, Kevin, if they were under 500 at the deadline, would they make that move? I don't know the answer.
Yeah, I think that's tricky. I guess the question would be, Craig, how big of a favorite, and this news obviously is going to throw it off, would you say Detroit is, as presently constructed, to be the team that re-signs Tariq Skubal? Are they, over 50%, or does this project to be a pretty open race for his services in the offseason?
Yeah, if we were doing predictions on the prediction markets or anywhere else, I would not have them in the top 3 or 4. I would not. I think if they were to, if they were to get a deal done, I think they would. I mean, look, he's in their house right now, and they couldn't slam the door. So no, I don't think he returns there. But this dynamic does change things a little bit. Yes, I would say that. Now, if you asked me this 2 days ago, I would have said no, none. But you never know. Maybe he likes it there. And if he still is hurt and 2 months from now can't come back or something like that, maybe Detroit and him work out some sweetheart deal. I don't have him in the top 3 or 4 teams going back to Detroit. They should be in the equation, but not the favorite or close to me.
Is that, and it's a hindsight question then, Craig, but I didn't really kind of realize how far out then that they were. Should they have been looking into trading him before the season started? I guess there were some rumblings around such an idea, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they played this the right way. He's a homegrown kid. He was drafted by them, 2-time Cy Young Award. It's an impossible sell for the fans. Not an impossible sell in a couple of months from now if he comes back. Not an impossible sell, right? Impossible to me before the season.
Yeah, it's a super interesting situation. Certainly a frustrating one for Detroit and Skubal, and one that, less important, but opens up the AL Cy Young race. A race that wasn't supposed to be really up for grabs, certainly flipped on its head. Excellent as always. That is Craig Mish. You can catch him on Newswire right here on SportsGrid. We'll be right back with more Game Time decisions.
Alienate your fan base. That's the problem. You got to show your fan base that you're still trying to win, and you want to sell tickets in the summertime. You don't want to go into mid-May and say, all right, we're 15 games out, but it's still only early May. No, fans will stay away. So you don't have the luxury anymore of just waiting. So someone's got to get fired. One of these teams is going to fire someone by the end of the month.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I thought the Jets would have pulled the Ty Simpson move. I was desperately worried that was what they were going to do. But instead, they ended up getting it right with Bailey. And so did, by the way, the prediction markets, because we saw all that money come in for Bailey. It's kind of funny because all it is, and then you forget, who did Arizona go with? I mean, Arizona went with a running back.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We're seeing, as sports betting is continuing to rise, that some of the potential issues around it are rising too, and these companies are having to deal with that. You have several lawmakers have introduced bills across states in Congress to potentially curb some of the problematic activity. In some cases, like in Ohio, we talked about last week, to potentially end online sports betting.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
It's a 7-game sprint with a whole lot of volatility, right? You don't want the best team, so to speak, Donnie. You want the team that has a favorable group stage, weaker knockout path, and has some penalty variants coming their way here, because this is all about the path to the final, Donnie. It's not about the best team, because the best team can get knocked out.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys, game time decisions. We're back here and we are rolling. I want to make sure we get to the baseball board because we've got a handful of 640. I think I've noticed too, like occasionally I have to just do this to remind Gabe to make sure he's got all his 640 picks in. You know what I mean? Because I know sometimes like they sneak up like that.
Yeah, that's like the Rays. I like the Rays. It was 3-0 right away. I was like, son of a. You know what? Full disclosure, because we're honest, I didn't get it in on time. So I was like, Kevin's like, well, the Rays are up 3-0. I'm like, you got to be. I'm like, I can't believe I started already. I'm like, yeah, that's right. And I really liked it, too. I was like, oh, yeah, Lauer's. Remember I even said, Lauer's a gas can. Rays are hot. They're going to win. Right away, it's 3-0. But I was stubborn. Yeah. And the Jays scored. They made it 3-1. And the number came down. So I put it in a parlay with the Carolina Hurricanes. It's a little bit of a sweat job as well.
Easy.
Down 2-0.
Never in doubt. Never in doubt.
I told you that team is robotic, though, didn't I?
Yeah.
Like they're very. They play the same way, whether they're up 2-0, whether they're down 2-0, whether it's 0-0. Like they just keep sort of systematically moving forward on you. And just quickly, you buried the lead tonight, Walsh, because a big story in the hockey world tonight is the National Hockey League Draft Lottery. This evening, the number one pick is at stake, and I tell you, there's 3 really good players, so I think you're going to be all right if you get the top 3. But the NHL is whack. Like the team with the worst record never seems to win the lottery. Like the Canucks have the worst record this year. They have a 25% chance only, Kevin. Like, I don't know why it's so hard for the NBA whenever all these other leagues figure it out. All right. So it's like if you're the Canucks, like, all right, you guys can tank if you want, but you got a 25% chance of getting the pick still. Like, there's no guarantee at all you're going to get the top pick. And the Vancouver Canucks, for the record, somehow have never had the top pick in the draft before. They're one of those classic, they're always in the middle, Kevin, teams. You know what I mean? They're the Chargers. Like the Canucks, they'll make the playoffs a couple of years. They won't make the playoffs, but they're always like drafting 18th. Like, you know what I mean? 14th, 18th. And you can't get better like that, right? You're always just sort of stuck in that. Like, you either got to be really good or really bad in sports. I hate to say it, but it's true. And not, baseball's different, but in these sports where you build through the draft and stuff, and especially the NHL, free agency isn't big in the NHL. So you really got to draft. Like, you got to get it right in the draft. You got to get lucky with the top pick and stuff. And to put in context, the Blackhawks have the second best chance of getting the top pick, or the San Jose Sharks and the Blackhawks do. They already have Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini on their teams, guys. So that's how you get good. Like, that's how the Oilers got Draisaitl and McDavid, right? They got, like, top picks, like 1, 2, 3. Like, they were just bang, 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 years in a row. And then they stockpiled. It was like, damn, these guys are like really, really good now because of it. But just quickly with the odds tonight, as far as who's going to win the lottery, the Canucks are plus 275. You could bet on this at multiple books. The Chicago Blackhawks plus 550. The New York Rangers, Kevin, Mr. Dolan handing out basketballs last night outside the Garden. You missed that. Plus 650. The Calgary Flames. Now, you want to talk about league conspiracies, Kevin. If the Calgary Flames win the NHL draft lottery, I don't ever want to hear about a lottery conspiracy ever again. Because there's no way in hell the NHL is setting it up. Yeah, we really hope McKenna lands in Calgary, right? So if Calgary wins, it's a fair shake. If the New York Rangers win, dude, like in the hockey world, Kevin, there's going to be a lot of accusations. I'm telling you right now. Right, like the Canucks have the best chance. The Flames have high odds. If he and the Leafs actually have high chances of getting the pick. If he ends up on the Blackhawks or the New York Rangers, people are really going to cry about this. But whatever, Blackhawks did suck too. I mean, it's possible.
Guys, if they rigged these things, they would have forced McDavid out of Edmonton a long time ago. All right, that's all
they
there
didn't
is
know
to it.
McDavid. I don't think they really knew. But you're right. They would. All right, if this was a fixed lottery tonight, then bet on the Rangers at plus 650. And I'd say they don't care about the Seattle Kraken being good. So I wouldn't worry about that.
The one thing I just
the
wanted
Leafs
to put into
at
perspective,
9-1,
though,
worth a shot. The Leafs at 9-1.
Vancouver having a 25% chance, right? The Wizards won the fewest games this year. They have a 14% chance. Like, the Wizards would have won 6 games if you told them they would get a 25% chance at the first overall pick. Okay? Just to put it into perspective, just how insane the NBA's lottery odds are. They're so different. And again, it's why the tanking is what it is, and it's going to get worse, and they don't know it's going to get worse. They've flattened the odds within the last decade, and it got worse, and they don't know what they're doing. And we've gone over this. But no,
they don't. They don't. And, Silver seems to have it's not just Silver. Everybody in sports seems to have, like, bad solutions to the questions that are on the table. College football playoff. Yeah, let's go to 24. Hey, let's charge more money, World Cup. Yeah, let's charge people $180 for a train ride from the Port Authority or like from Penn Station to MetLife. Like, the world's just full of bad ideas. But I'll quickly say a good idea, my boy Masai Ujiri with the Dallas Mavericks. All right, so there's Dallas Maverick program starting to come together a little bit.
I don't know. Masai Ujiri, Toronto won, so he'll always get credit for that. He then spent the next 8 years pretending he was going to make big trades that he never made. And watching guys leave for nothing, that never came. Like, here's what happened for Masai Ujiri. He got handed Kawhi because Pop didn't want him to go to the Lakers, and then Masai Ujiri thought every other deal for the rest of his life was going to go like that. He was going to have to give up DeMar DeRozan and Jakob Poeltl, who they got back, for Kawhi and Danny Green.
Which was a bad deal, and he actually put the Raptors on the hook for Jakob Poeltl right now that they have to pay for. I can't disagree. I do think he's smart, but at one point in time, there's a reason why he's not in Toronto anymore, right? The honeymoon was over.
Mm-hmm.
And you almost believed him when he said it because he was so convincing that I promise you we'll win again. Like he had that, like you said. He sort of had that benefit of the doubt swagger about him for a couple of years, right? And he sold out to Raptor fans. Like, we bought in, and you know what? Giannis could be in the mix now. Like, something like, he goes, he's family friends with Giannis. Like, there was always that buzz around him that he can make something big happen, but really, and ultimately, nothing ever did. And there were a lot of bad draft picks and deals. So I'm not saying he's a genius, but from where the Mavericks were, put it this way, would you rather Nico Harrison or Masai Ujiri running your team?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Good
point.
Is this a fair question?
Hey, listen. No, listen. You asked the question. There's a clear answer. I'll give you that. I would rather Masai Ujiri.
He is a good salesman, though. It's a fair point by you. And seeing through the cloud and the sparkle, so to speak. But I got to tell you, he's one of these guys. He's good at it. You know what I mean? He's a good salesman, Kevin. Like, he's one of those dudes when you talk. When he talks,
should add stability.
And you should see Maverick fan base online right now. Like, they're buying in that he's like the savior.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they are. They need something to believe in Dallas. Let me just get to the baseball board. No, I know, but I'm saying
640. Let's get to it. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. I like under in the Phillies-A's game, 9.5. Sanchez should deal. Severino can't be awful, and then that should be fine. I'm taking a chance with Gausman at plus 125 against this Rays team. Rays are good, but so is Gausman. That's a nice number on Toronto. And I did lay, I thought under minus 140 on the Marlins at home with Sandy Alcantara against this struggling Baltimore team, I thought was worth it as well, Gabe. So a couple of 640 spots for me here.
Yeah. The early starts, I sort of see the same thing here as far as the Marlins are concerned. I think the Marlins are the play, and the odds came down a little bit. I think it was like in the 60s earlier in the day. I'm seeing 50 cents right now. And neither of these teams can hit. I kind of like the under here as well, but Chris Bassett being on the hill concerns me. as far as betting the under. So therefore, if that's the worry of this game, then give me the Miami Marlins as well.
Yeah, absolutely love it. We'll continue to run through tonight's slate after a quick break right here on SportsGrid.
They've been pretty adamant that they're going to play Kirk Cousins all of the season if they can.
It's not like Mendoza's coming in as some quarterback that, he hasn't played much and he needs some time. Like, he's as ready as he's going to be, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to change? It's almost like Bo Nix or something. Like, nothing was going to change. Like, the guy's played 1 million games already. He is who he is.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
If you're a loyal PGA Tour player, you should be sending a thank you card to every single guy who jumped ship. Because without Live Golf breathing down their necks, the PGA Tour would still be handing out winners' checks for barely $1 million a tournament. Live forced the establishment to finally empty their pockets and actually pay their talent.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
This isn't the best Jason Tatum series we have ever seen. It is a series that I think Boston fans will remember forever. He will remember forever because, Coach, he's really not supposed to be out there. You know what I mean? Like, this was never supposed to be a thing.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
We got a logjam up top, Joe, which basically means these are the teams we expect to make the college football playoff.
If I like, let's say, Ohio State to run it back, well, then I already know what not only am I betting them for a flyer, I'm also betting the conference to win the championship also. So there's a lot of way to correlate these future bets in college.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
All right, rolling here on a Tuesday night, and we just set up some of the baseball. We'll get to the rest of the baseball before we get out of here. We actually haven't been able to get into the Pistons and the Cavs just yet. And I like Detroit in the series. This is a feel-out game, in my opinion, because this Cavs team was pathetic last round on the road. I'm not taking anything away from Toronto, but it was just very, very Cleveland. I hated how they looked. So Detroit kind of jumps out to me almost a little too much. I took Cade Cunningham's assists in this game. I really like that look. It's 9.5. But Gabe, I saw you're on Cleveland. I'm not on a side in this game, but as somebody who really likes Detroit in the series, I can't knock your pick.
You know what? I almost feel the same way as you, but from the opposite end of the spectrum, in the sense that this is one of these games, Kevin, and I'm looking forward to watching almost more than betting. You know what I mean? There's a lot of games where I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to bet this game. This game more so, I'm going to bet it, but it could go, very similar to the Lakers in Oklahoma City, tonight, where you could really, you're going to feel foolish one way or the other, whatever you do with the game, right? We brought it up earlier. You take Oklahoma City and the Lakers cover, you're going to be like, I can't believe I laid 15.5 points against this Laker team that's playing as well as they are right now. They keep covering. You take the Lakers and Oklahoma City do their thing, and you're like, and a similar situation here, right? Well, it's like, do you fully trust Detroit? Because they survived against Orlando. Let's give them credit, but they're still an offensively challenged team. Cleveland are deeper than they are. Cleveland have more scores on their team. They're deeper. Cleveland have size that Orlando didn't in the interior. Dealing with Mobley and Allen isn't easy. So there's a lot of challenges. Then you throw in Donovan Mitchell and Harden. I actually think Cleveland are going to win the series. So the way I look at it is like, all right, I think Cleveland going to win the series. They're an underdog here tonight. I can't overlook what you said about there were 7 games played in the Raptors in the Cavaliers series, and the home team won every one of them. But the Cavaliers have actually been a good road dog this year. They're 8-5 against the spread as a road dog, right? So I think it was more of a Toronto thing and a Cleveland thing, where Still to this day, Toronto hasn't won a road playoff game in Cleveland. We talked about it, Kevin. LeBron stat or not, right? Now they're 0-11, and it mattered. And Cleveland couldn't win in Toronto. So I think it was one of those things more so. And I don't want to say Toronto's tougher to play than Detroit is either, but Toronto is kind of like a college sort of atmosphere in there. Detroit will be rocking a bit here tonight, but listen, I wish I was getting more with the Cavs, but I think the Cavs are going to win the series, so I'll take the Cavs tonight. I think they're worth a look on the money line, but we'll take the 3.5.
Yeah, again, I think Cleveland can take the game, but Detroit is a team that was 31-9 at home on the season. They only lost the one home game. Game one, they obviously came out a bit shell-shocked. I think so much of it is going to depend on if Jalen Duren did pick up momentum from that Game 7 performance.
Duren's big. And also,
that's one of the most important elements here.
You brought it up yesterday, and you said, listen, who's gonna guard Cade Cunningham on the Cleveland Cavaliers? Right?
Yeah.
Yet, if you look at his numbers against the Cavs this year, they played 4 times. He only went over this number once. Did he? Or did he get to 28 even?
The Cade numbers are really high. Yeah, I agree with you. Cade only averaged 24 a game in the regular season. You're paying a real postseason tax
tonight
for Cunningham.
Yeah, you're paying like 29. You're paying a Luka fee almost here. You're paying a Giannis price here, like an SGA bet. Like, will Cade Cunningham get to 30? And it's like, he had to do it. Gabe. Yeah, like I would go assist over the prop. Like I actually lean the under with his points. Even if Detroit wins, like if Cade Cunningham scores 40, Detroit are in trouble. I almost going to put it that way. Like they're better off when he's distributing, other guys are scoring. If he goes off, like Cleveland will be like, fine, score 42. You're the only one that scored. We're going to win.
I mean, just to your point, Gabe, regular season in wins, 23.5 points, losses, 25.2, wins, 10.1 assists, losses, 9.2. That is exact. I totally agree with you. The reason he just went 45, 32, 32 is they were down 3-1. He had to.
He had to.
But to attack the way
they were down right away, and nobody else was scoring. Tobias Harris gave him a little bit, LeVert here and there, but like he had to put the team on his back. And it's going to be different. I'm telling you, Kevin, I think it's an underestimation of the Toronto Raptors a little bit still with people, but there's a lot of trees in that forest, bro, when you play the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're a big team.
They absolutely are.
They're a big team.